I'm gonna press that.
Around what time was that?
Well, let's see. I figure I was out searching for about an hour. I guess it was around 12, yeah.
You're not sure?
Hey, don't give me that face. I'm not some short of keeping sun out, okay?
People use watches these days, Larry.
And you heard a bang. That's weird.
Wasn't there a boat on the lake?
Order. Well, Mr. Butts, whoa. Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not.
Okay, no problem. That's just the most important part of this case. So you only heard one bang, correct?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, Nick?
It was a pretty wishy-washy testimony, wasn't it? I guess I should just start working on the contradictions.
Sorry. I wish I could be more helpful. I wish I could call my sister. Okay. I don't know if the idea of us bringing up... Okay, we actually can't bring up Gordy. Here's the thing. So we find one in the body. The weapon was fired 3 times. Lotta heard 2. I don't know if that would necessarily be it. I'm gonna try it. I don't know.
Well, wait a second, Larry. What? You only heard one bang, you sure?
That's what I said.
Miss Lotta Hart testified yesterday she heard 2. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard 2 gunshots that night.
Huh?
Were you even listening? Were you paying attention at all to what they said?
Yo, Nick, please.
Huh?
You know, something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. You gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay? Mr. Butts, what? You only heard 1 gunshot? Are you sure? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure.
Huh? Not sure. How could you not be sure?
Yeah, well, I might have missed the other gunshot. I was listening to something else.
Something else?
My radio, dude, with my headphones.
We're screwed.
Stop the booing.
Mr. Butts, you were listening to the radio with your headphones.
Yeah, so what? That's a crime? I listen to my radio. Everyone listens to the radio. What's the big deal?
Mr. Von Karma, what's your opinion? Waste of time. I did not accept this witness, nor his shoddy testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue the testimony?
I'm gonna say continue, because we might be able to... Here's the thing. If he heard 1 gunshot, but he wasn't there at that time, because we're not 100% sure what time he was there, that would make sense for the 3. If Larry was not there at the time of the other 2, or the other 2 happened... No, wait. Hold on. Okay. I looked at the guide, and it makes sense. Because here's the thing. What the hell is he listening to? Because this is 2000s, okay? Them headphones weren't that good, okay? They were basically just tiny, like, I mean, granted, all headphones and earphones are tiny speakers, but, like, what is he listening to loud enough where he wouldn't hear the gunshots? Also, like...
Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony.
Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost.
Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony and include details like your radio. Right, leave it to me. I wouldn't if there was any other way out of this, believe me.
Also, Edgeworth has not been on the stand, but okay.
Lonely being alone on Christmas Eve, listen to an all request show on the radio, listening to it like booming loud like. And I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. You were listening to it. No radio is going to be louder than a gunshot. Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't it a free country? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, can you believe a word this witness says? What he heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio. True enough, it's difficult to believe this testimony. Wait, Your Honor. The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me? DJ? An announcer. The guy who says things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is when he heard the sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm continuing the charade. Okay. Also, didn't he have a girlfriend? And I'm a fiancé. So you... I don't hear someone's voice, you know? And also, didn't he mention he had a girlfriend? All request show. I want to press that because there's no way a gun is louder. Booming loud. You got headphones on, yep. I wouldn't think you could hear anything going on outside at all. What sort of headphones does Larry have? Let's press this then. What did she say? Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good to know what a radio DJ said to us? Indeed, Mr. Von Karma has a point. I'll allow the question only if I could see... Because then we can get a time. Because if we can figure out what was said, then we can go back and figure out when it was, like, what time. Am I looking at this with two new eyes? Of course we should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? How do you know we don't ask, huh? Again, we can get the time with, like, timestamps from, like, oh, okay, this is when it started, this is where it, like, wouldn't we? Please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? I gotta press it. Okay. No, because that's... Oh. Damn it! Hold on. Let me double check something, because we have the autopsy report. But that was at 12:15. Okay, so I was right. That would make sense with the third. Are you sure? Of course I am. She had this really sexy voice. Maybe Ron Karma was right. I'm not sure how that helped us. Okay. Go back. Here's the thing. This photo, if it was, because here's the thing. The autopsy report says on the 24th or the 25th. And it's shot 3 times. So if the one Larry heard was the first one, then this was the 2 others. Is it Lawless that we have to use again? Okay, so I can use this again. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you were saying is correct? Huh? What's that face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know that I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, did you hear what the witness just said? The DJ said, hey, it's almost Christmas when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. You realize what this means? When you heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve.
That would seem to be the case, yes.
But that contradicts the two testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man said it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. This is a clear contradiction, Your Honor.
Order. What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, this witness said he heard a gunshot before midnight.
Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plain mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious.
What?
Well, Mr. Wright?
What do you think about Mr. Butts' claim he heard the gunshot before midnight? Here's the thing. That gun fired 3 times. We have only accounted for 2. This could be the other one.
Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard that gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim?
Yeah, the gun you gave us.
Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight.
Here's my thing. This is what I'm thinking. This was fired 3 times. We only have evidence for 2. Hold on. Oh. It's an empty lake, but it's taken at 11:50.
Look at this photo. This was taken by a witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m.
Oh. But there's nothing in the lake on that picture.
Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown in this photograph. It is why this photograph exists at all.
What do you mean?
Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises.
Ah.
Correct. There was a loud noise on a lake at 11:50. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve.
Indeed, it would seem that was the case. Then where does that leave us? Miss Hart testified she heard the gunshots after midnight, but you claiming she was mistaken.
Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera is also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there were 2 sets of gunshots with a 25-minute pause between them.
Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. The camera was set to respond to loud noises, yes? There's no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why, the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera. True. Hey, my nose was clear that night, man. Clear!
Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that a loud noise at 11:50 was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any.
I'm thinking it's this. The gun is fired 3 times. Okay, I am right.
This is my evidence. The murder weapon. Something about the pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3. When, then, was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. That the 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight.
Order. That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering what exactly did happen that night in the lake.
Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why? Oh, I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes.
What's wrong, Nick?
I have it.
Huh?
Remember the case with the Steel Samurai?
Yeah, of course I remember.
The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case.
What do you mean?
Maya,
Yeah?
if we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch, and I'm gonna run with it.
Right. I mean, is this safe?
Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay?
Right, Nick.
Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright. The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case.
What do you mean, Mr. Wright?
So you finally realize the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Isles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Garma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie, take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. The defendant Edgeworth and the victim Robert Hammond were on that boat.
Again, we have no proof that those were the ones on the boat.
There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on the boat. And hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes, but this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright?
We have photographic evidence at the time of the shooting. The time on the timestamp on the photo says midnight, 0:15. Larry heard a shot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. It's the only way Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright,
Are you quite mad? Explain who the two men in the boat are. Okay, here's the thing. If it's Edgeworth and Hammond, then it means Edgeworth is guilty. It can't be... It's Edgeworth and the murderer, because the murderer would have already killed Hammond, and then, like, the dead body would be in the boat.
Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth.
What? Are you serious?
Yes, Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place.
I'm not sure what to make of all this.
Ludicrous.
Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then.
The murderer's name!
We don't know!
Actually, I don't know the murderer's name.
You don't know? Again, you waste my time.
I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond.
The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then.
Why would he have to go all the way out to the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of the crime was not on the boat?
What? Well then, where did the murder take place? Okay, I'm assuming either here or here. Maybe?
Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing.
You have any proof that boat shop was the scene of the crime?
Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. The night he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns to the boat. Just as he's starting to head home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor. Even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat?
The boat shop? Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, are you sure about this?
Not really. And I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat called Robert Hammond to his shop. This was around 11:50 when he heard the gunshot that was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat, became Robert Hammond. And he got into the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake.
Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? Would have been the boat shop guy, right?
Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice, both missed Edgeworth on purpose.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone?
Details.
Know this, Mr. Wright.
The moment you run out of explanations, it's the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice.
Create a witness.
I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor.
Create a witness?
The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. It ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him.
I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other.
The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop, and he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, and threw the body into the lake. That's what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake.
Bailiff? Bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Very well, while we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said.
Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me.
Something important?
I'm sorry, I can't say what it was.
Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him, quickly. We can't allow him to get away. Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared.
A search warrant has already been issued.
Goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I'll extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I have requested the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who was that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to the trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. Yay, Nick, you did it!
Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict.
And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't even know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out.
Sure. Once I sifted through his unique testimony, still, he did save us. I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time.
I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients.
Hey, Edgeworth.
Oh, look at the little fish. Mr. Edgeworth?
Did you say something?
Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could try to smile just a little. Relax. I love this line. It's so great.
I'm sorry, but I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right? There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth. No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but I can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder.
And they leave us on fucking that. God damn. But that's gonna be it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. We have one more day of investigating to figure out who the fuck that guy was. And to figure out who Edgeworth actually did murder. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.